Baseball is back, ladies and gentlemen. Last night we had opening day in the world of baseball. I was super stoked, as I'm sure all of you guys were too. I was live over on Twitch for majority of opening day yesterday, just talking stuff about the game. I was watching Toronto versus Tampa Bay. Had some of the Twins and the Royals game on. Talking trash to some of the viewers. You know how it goes, man. Like it's baseball season. I'm excited for it, man. I'm so pumped. I've been excited for this for forever now. I've been waiting. We've all been itching for the season to start. For today's video, I wanted to go over one takeaway from every single opening day winner. Now, I did mention a few things in today's video about, or I'm going to mention a few things about, like, some of the losing teams, just because I wanted to shed a little bit of light, like, those losing teams, yes, they lost, but it's a long season ahead of them, and they deserved a little bit of attention. Some of them were mollywop games yesterday, man. There was a lot of high-scoring games. We had a lot of offense playing yesterday, man, and I know that happens early in the year. Like, the pitchers take some time to get work into the season. I feel like it was either high scoring games or pitching. Like there was some really good pitching performances yesterday too, man. A lot of guys pitched their asses off in games yesterday. The first game of yesterday was the Baltimore Orioles versus the LA Angels. Now, if I want to take anything away from the Angels, it was an 11-3 score was the final score. Mike Trout hit the first home run of the year. I love to see that. I hope that he can perform for the rest of the season. Hopefully he can stay healthy. But Baltimore came back and scored 11 runs. Patrick Sandoval did not look hot. Corbin Burns struck out 11. He had 11 strikeouts in his debut for Baltimore yesterday. Great debut for Corbin Burns. I think they're going to really need that. With Kyle Bradish down, and I wouldn't say there's really question marks with the rotation because Grayson Rodriguez is as good as he is. They have a few other pieces there that have performed in the past. So, but I like seeing that. I think that's a huge bright spot for Baltimore. Corbin Burns is gonna be their ace. He needs to perform like an ace. Yes, it was the Los Angeles Angels offense and they're trash, but he pitched incredibly well, and I was happy for him. So. Yeah, 11-3 for Baltimore over the Angels. I didn't get much of a chance to watch that game where, like I said, I was streaming yesterday. I had a few games on my phone. I was going back and forth, talking to people. People were updating me in chat and whatnot here and there. I was getting notifications out of the Wahoo on Twitter and everything about what was going on. After doing some research and stuff, I went back and watched some clips from a lot of the games and whatnot, just to try to gauge what really went on in a lot of the games that I missed yesterday. So, the Padres ended up getting a win over the Giants. Now, this really wasn't the Padres' opening day. They opened last week in the Soul Series against the Dodgers, but they got a 6-4 win over the Giants. Their offense looked good, man. That's my takeaway for the Padres. Their offense looked good despite not having Juan Soto. And I think that's really what they're gonna need to ride they're gonna need to ride out the season off their offense this year. Their pitching is good, but they do have some question marks with their pitching. Yu Darvish is like almost 40 years old at this point. He pitched incredible yesterday against the Giants, who have a completely new offense. We talked about the Giants a few weeks ago. I'm excited to see what the Padres have for the rest of the year, man. This is one of the teams that I want to pay attention to in the National League because I think they're going to surprise people more than what we expect. Their offense is there. They just got to actually perform. Last year was, I think, a bit of an anomaly year for their offense. They had like historically bad statistics in some certain categories for their offense. So I think if Tatis, Machado, Cronenworth, like the top of that order, Ha-Seong Kim can continue to play well. If all of those guys can click at the same time, their offense, like that's one of the best top of the orders in baseball, even without Juan Soto. So they ended up getting a win 6-4 over the Giants yesterday, despite playing against Logan Webb. Yu Darvish had the better start yesterday. Logan Webb looked good, but Darvish went up I think 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, only 1 hit, I believe, to the Giants. So he pitched incredibly well. They're gonna need him to do that for maybe at least like 1 or 2 more years. If he doesn't have too much left in the tank, they need him for like 1 or 2 more years. Pirates ended up beating the Marlins 6-5. Now, you guys will see me looking over here. I'm just looking at my notes. I decided to write down as much stuff as I could because I'm not going to be able to remember it off the dome. So, 6-5 win for the Pirates over the Marlins. They went into extra innings. I think they went until like the 12th inning, I believe. Now, I think a lot of people's biggest takeaway was Oneil Cruz's home run. He was tearing it up in spring training, and he hit a home run on opening day. People want him to be healthy. I want to see him stay healthy for the entire year. But I want to shed some light on their bullpen because their bullpen pitched 6 innings of one-hit ball against them. Yes, I know the Marlins offense isn't incredible by any means, but a lot of people expect the Pirates bullpen to be incredibly well. David Bednar did not pitch yesterday, I don't think. But some of their other pieces did. And you know, say what you want to say about the Marlins offense. It's not that hot, but these are the types of teams that the Pirates bullpen is going to need to perform well against. The Pirates offense is incredibly young. They're an incredibly young team all around, and you know they got some question marks too. Their bullpen is going to need to perform if they want to continue to try to have a really good year this year. So they ended up topping the Marlins in extra innings 6-5. Mitch Keller didn't look great. He didn't look too hot, but their bullpen completely shut it down for the last 6 innings. So, you know, props to them. Props to them, man. Now, this game is the one that I was watching very close attention to. Obviously, Toronto versus Tampa Bay, 8-2 win. I did have a couple takeaways, more than just one, but I'll more so just talk about one of them instead of the other two. Barrios looked incredibly good. He settled down after the home run to Yandy Diaz. He looked very solid. Also, one of the things that I wanted to say is we went 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position. 3 for 9. We were terrible last year with runners in scoring position, man. I think we were one of the worst teams in all of baseball. For a majority of the season, we were I'm pretty sure we were the worst team in baseball with runners in scoring position last year for like the first 4 months. So we went 3 for 9 yesterday. Obviously a small sample size, but hopefully we can keep it going. We were facing a good pitcher yesterday. We faced Zach Eflin and Sean Armstrong. Now, if I want to take anything away from Tampa Bay, it's that I think Kevin Cash left Zach Eflin in a little bit too long. Tampa Bay's offense started coming around about middle of the game towards the end. I think they should have took out Zach Eflin, man. I think they should have took him out because he gave up like 3 or 4 in 1 inning, and that could have definitely been limited if they had took him out. But either way, I was happy with it. 8-2 win for Toronto on opening day. I was very happy to see that. Nationals and Reds 8-2 win as well for the Reds over the Nationals. My biggest takeaway from that game, I didn't get to see any of this game, but I had some people updated me in Twitch chat, did some research, watched some of the highlights and whatnot. Nick Martini had 2 home runs on opening day. Now, I don't think Nick Martini is going to be like a household name for Cincinnati this year because they have so many young guys. You know what you're going to probably get out of them. You're going to want to see them grow. But do they have some of these guys like Nick Martini, like Jake Fraley, like Jeimer Candelario that can provide some type of veteran presence for those young guys? Hopefully that's what Nick Martini is going to be, you know, 2 home runs in opening day. I think 5 ribbies from him as well. So that's probably my biggest takeaway from Cincinnati. Like I said, I didn't even really get much of a chance to watch that game. But yeah, if they have some veteran guys, they do have some veteran guys there. Hopefully Nick Martini can sneak his way into that offense a little bit more and play well. Yankees Astros 5-4. The Yankees ended up bouncing back and winning. They gave up, I think it was 4-0 at one point for Houston. And Nestor Cortez kind of struggled the first few innings, settled down for the last couple innings of his start. I think he ended up going 5 innings, which is decent against an offense like Houston, honestly. I think the Yankees bullpen played really well. Now, I feel like I'm talking a lot about bullpens, and I'll continue to talk a lot about bullpens over the next few games. But the Yankees bullpen played extremely well. I believe Ian Hamilton, Jonathan Wazga, I think, went 2 innings. And then Clay Holmes came in and shut it down at the end of the game. Their bullpen is going to need to perform with Garrett Cole out, man. Like, you don't know really what you're going to get from Nestor every game. Marcus Stroman is a great pickup, but, you know, you don't really know what you're going to get from some of these guys, man. Like, Marcus Stroman has been up and down over the last couple of years. You don't really know what you might get from him either. So, their bullpen is going to need to perform with Garrett Cole out, and that's what they did yesterday against a great offense. So, that's a big takeaway for the Yankees, in my opinion. Dodgers Cardinals. Dodgers won over the Cardinals 7-1. Now, once again, this wasn't really their opening day. They played against the Padres last week in the Soul Series, so their offense was clicking, man. Their offense was clicking. I wanted to talk about them a little bit, but I think we all know how good their offense is. They're top of the order. Had multiple hits. Freddie Freeman with a home run. Mookie Betts with a home run. Ohtani with a couple hits. Will Smith had a few hits, or I think 1 or 2. So yeah, they're top of their offenses there, man. Top of the offenses there. But I wanted to shed a little bit of light on Ryan Yarbrough, who came out of the bullpen relieved Tyler Glasnow for the final 3 innings. He went 3 innings out of the bullpen. Do they have some of these guys that are going to come in and be able to provide big innings if their starters don't go very long in the game? Now, 6 innings out of Tyler Glasnow is nice, and the only real reason Ryan Yarbrough came in is because it was a 7-1 game at the time. So, but 3 innings out of the pen, Ryan Yarbrough. They do have Tony Gonsolin as well, who has done something very similar to Ryan Yarbrough. He's hurt right now, but I believe he's coming back at some point. They're guys that can come out of the bullpen. They don't need to be starting pitchers, but they have experience being starters. So they can come out of the bullpen and give them 3 to 4 innings a game if need be and do it really well. Ryan Yarbrough, I don't believe, gave up any hits or maybe one hit or something. I don't know exactly, but no runs from Ryan Yarbrough. So I just wanted to shed a little bit of light on that because we know what their offense is going to do. We know how well the Dodgers offense is, and they were clicking yesterday. They're probably going to click most of the year. They'll probably be the best offense in the league, one of, if not the best. So I just wanted to shed some light on Ryan Yarbrough, man. I think he was a decent little pickup for them if he can continue to do, fill in spots like this for the Dodgers over the course of the season. Tigers, White Sox, 1-0 game. Big pitcher duel in this one. Tariq Skubal shut down. Absolute shutdown, which is exactly what the Tigers need this year. I talked highly about the Tigers. A lot of people want to talk highly about the Tigers this season. I think that they're gonna perform pretty well this year. Their offense is very young. They do have a lot of young pieces. They don't have a lot of veteran pieces in their offense. They have some guys. I like Mark Canha. I like the Mark Canha pickup. They still got Javi Baez, which, say what you want about Baez, he's still a veteran. He's been around for a long time. He's been in winning organizations before. They have AJ Hinch behind in the dugout. So, I mean, I like what the Tigers got going on. They're going to need their pitchers to perform well, which Skubal did that. Now, on the flip side, I want to shed a little bit of light to the White Sox because Garrett Crochet went 6 innings as well of 8 strikeouts. Only gave up a few hits, I believe, as well. I mean, it was a 1-0 game. So, I just wanted to shed a little bit of light on Garrett Crochet as well because he was somebody that a lot of people wanted to write off, man. They didn't know if he was going to be a reliever. They didn't know if he was going to be a starter. They didn't know if he was going to do anything. They didn't know if he could stay healthy. And he performed really well yesterday. Now, like I said, it's against the Tigers offense, who has a lot of young players, and, they're just trying to find their footing in the offense and footing in the league, really. So, take what you want with that. But I think 6 innings out of Garrett Crochet, somebody who has been in the pen for a majority of the last couple seasons, is pretty damn solid, in my opinion. So, yeah, and 8 strikeouts as well. I got to say that again. Twins-Royals. Twins beat the Royals 4-1. Now, this one hurts because I'm very high on the Twins this year. I made a bet with one of my mods over on Twitch for the Twins to have a better record than the Royals. The Twins did win yesterday, but Royce Lewis, despite having a home run and another base knock, in his first at-bat, a home run, got hurt rounding the bases. I believe it was either a hamstring or a quad injury of some sort. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. This was the biggest question mark for the Twins this year. Can some of their guys stay healthy? Because their offense is really damn solid, man. They got Royce Lewis. They got Byron Buxton. Carlos Correa had 3 hits yesterday. Can those guys stay healthy? All of them have had injury issues in the past. And this isn't a great look to start off the season with Royce Lewis going down. So I wish him the best. Hopefully he gets healthy and can come back and perform just the way we've seen him in recent memory. So, but yeah, their offense clicked, man. The Twins' offense clicked. I think they had 10 hits, and majority of them were off Cole Ragans. Cole Ragans is one of a lot of people's Cy Young favorites in the American League. He was elite last season for the Royals, and the Twins kind of tore him apart for the first few innings. So, despite Royce Lewis going down, they still had a good offensive production for majority of the game. So, Rangers beat the Cubs 4-3. This was in extra innings. Jonah Heim with a walk-off against the Cubs. I want to take away how decent their pitching did. The Cubs have a really solid offense this year. The Rangers ended up performing really well pitching-wise. Nathan Eovaldi kind of calmed down after giving up. I think he gave up like 4 or 5 extremely hard-hit baseballs. One that hit him off, I think off the leg or something like that. He stayed in the game. He's a warrior. Nathan Eovaldi is an absolute warrior. I love Eovaldi a lot. But their bullpen, another team that their bullpen performed extremely well against us. Very solid offense this time. The other teams kind of their bullpen performed well, but it was against poor offenses. They're at least projected poor offenses. The Cubs have a good offense, a very solid offense. And Kirby Yates, Jose Leclerc, David Robertson came in and shut down for 3 no-hit innings. Now, they did get into a little bit of trouble. I think they each walked 2. I think Leclerc and Yates walked 2, I believe. Or no, Leclerc and D-Rob. I forget exactly. I watched the tail end of that game, but whatever. I just wanted to take away that because I think their pitching performed well, and that was the biggest question mark by far for the Rangers this year because we know what their offense has. Some of their pitchers are there. Their starting pitchers. Their rotation is decent. Like, it's not bad by any means. They still have Scherzer. They still have DeGrom that are hurt right now, but they're projected to come back at some point. If they can get anything out of either of those guys, it could be another decent year for the Rangers, man. If their bullpen can perform like it did last night, man. So, Guardians, A's, not really much to take away from this game because it is Oakland. Now, any Oakland fans out there, I do apologize. 8-0 win for Cleveland. I don't know how Cleveland scores 8 runs, but I mean it is Oakland. But my biggest takeaway for Cleveland is that Shane Bieber had 11 strikeouts. Now, granted, it is against the Athletics offense, but we have talked about Shane Bieber in the past and how he has just completely disappeared from his strikeout years a few years ago. I think he was like a 12 to 14 K per 9 guy just a few seasons ago. Last year, I don't even know if it was 7. Like, that is an absurd downfall. He completely went from a strikeout guy to a finesse type pitcher that was just, kind of running off results, a really good defense behind him. And but he had 11 strikeouts in opening day, so maybe he could return to form, get some of that strikeout, some of those strikeouts back, and maybe be able to return to form for the Guardians. Whether that's them trying to compete for the season or trading him at the deadline, whatever they want to do with him, I think they'll get something out of him if they do decide to trade him or, ride throughout the season, and he'll probably perform pretty well for them. So. Red Sox beat the Mariners 6-4. Now, I watched majority of this game in Discord with some of my friends last night. Biggest takeaway is probably that Brian Bayo looked extremely well against a Mariners offense who I project to be a pretty solid offense this year. His pitches were filthy, man. Absolutely filthy. That sinker is disgusting. Sinker riding away from some of the lefty batters, man, that was filth. Absolute filth. And the Red Sox offense was pretty solid too. Devers with another home run. Opposite field, man. So much power for Rafael Devers. Absolutely insane. Tyler O'Neill with another opening day home run. He had a pair of hits in yesterday's game. Their offense looked good. Offense looked pretty solid for the Red Sox. Now, the final game of last night's opening day was the Diamondbacks versus the Rockies. 16-1 stomping for the D-backs. Hopefully this is something that we can see for the entire season for the D-backs because they added a lot to their offense this year, a lot to their team in general. They recently signed Jordan Montgomery, who we didn't get to talk about on any of these videos yet. They do have Erod, which I know is hurt, but not to even talk about their pitching, man, because Zach Gallen performed extremely well yesterday. 8 guys in their lineup. Now, once again, granted it is facing the Rockies pitching, which is never any good, but 8 guys had multiple hits in yesterday's game. Ketel Marte had 3 hits. 8 guys, 16 runs. The D-backs were clicking yesterday, man. Hopefully they can take this momentum throughout the entire season, and we might see them in the playoffs again by the time the end of the season rolls around. So, but anyways, that honestly, I was so super, super pumped for opening day. We got some more games coming later today as well. Braves, Phillies. A few other teams are going to be suiting up. I believe the Brewers play later as well, which I'm excited to watch. See what they're gonna do. Braves Phillies should be extremely well. I think that's going to be a great game. But anyways, I just wanted to shed some light on some of the takeaways from yesterday's opening day games. A lot of fun games yesterday, man. I was super excited to see the Blue Jays perform well, and hopefully they can do it again today. But yeah. Anyways, guys, that is going to do it for me today. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. We stream 5 to 6 times a week over on Twitch at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you guys aren't following the Twitch, I would greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, I will see you guys in the next one.